Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Corruption Court. And yes, I'm supposed to be in bed right now, and I'm very, very tired. That's why you see me in my half-ass outfit, but I dressed up a little bit because I do mean business. So what you have here is a diagram of Breonna Taylor's apartment and the crime scene where she was murdered at. Yes, I just got this off my blinds. Y'all can laugh, because we've been having a rough week and a rough day, and we deserve to have a little laugh right now, so go and get that laugh out. So back to business. What I have here is a diagram of Breonna Taylor's apartment. I'm going to go over all the things in her apartment. So what you got here, of course, is the front door. You got the dining room, you got the kitchen, the bathroom. You got the hallway right here, which is where the shooting took place. You got the first bedroom, which I like to say the guest bedroom up here. And then you got Breonna Taylor's bedroom right here. You got a hallway that goes from the bedroom to the bathroom that's in the bedroom. That's a part of the main master bedroom. Then you have right here, which is Brett Hankinson's area. You got a glass patio door right here. You got a bedroom window and another bedroom window to Breonna's room. So I'm about to break down the facts that Daniel Cameron in the police department is supposedly giving us. And I want y'all to use your head, and I want y'all to stay with me and follow me with what they're telling us is a fact, okay? Now watch this. Front door. We're going to start with Officer Manley, which I have him right here. But in order to get right there, he must have started right out here at the front door. So Officer Manley enters the front door. These are the facts, folk, that they told us. Manley enters the front door. Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker is right here in the hallway, supposedly side by side. Kenneth Walker takes his gun with two hands and fires shots at Detective Manley once he's entered the house. Manley gets hit by gunfire that supposedly came from Kenneth Walker and is now shot right here inside the house. Detective Covegrove, or however you say his name, comes in the house. He immediately, simultaneously, fires shots along with Detective Manley. Manley fires 6. Cosgrove fires 16 for a total of 22 shots they're firing at Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker. Now watch this, folks, and follow me. These are the facts that they're giving us. Supposedly the facts. Watch what I'm about to do. Manley enters the home. He sees Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker sees him, supposedly, and fires one shot. Manley instantly fires shots back along with Cosgrove. Somehow, Kenneth Walker's chubby ass is able to make it into not the bedroom right here. Kenneth Walker is able to go from here to this room right here and hide somewhere up in this closet right here. And made a phone call to the police. Somehow, Breonna Taylor gets hit right here in the hallway, right in front of her bedroom. She gets hit. Now, riddle me this, folks. How is it that Kenneth Walker fires shots and then he can run and make it into this room and hide when he fired these shots, and he supposedly fires first? You think when Kenneth Walker fired his shot that Breonna just stood right there in the hallway and did nothing? It's human nature to run. Breonna would have ran in this room. How is it possible that Kenneth Walker can fire shots, and with 22 shots coming back at him after he fires, he's able to run up and make it into this room door? That's not possible, folks. It's not possible. It's not possible, folks. Kenneth Walker made it into this room, and Breonna Taylor got caught in gunfire right here in the hallway when supposedly she was right beside him. It's not possible. And Kenneth Walker fired first. If Kenneth Walker was firing the gun first, that means Breonna would have had the head start on him to go run in the room. Because as soon as the gunfire goes off, she's not going to sit in that hallway. She's going to run right in that room. It's not possible, folks. And supposedly, the other officers. So look, you got Manley who gets shot right here. You got Cosgrove who comes in and he's firing. Probably trying to provide cover for Manley, supposedly. He's firing. Then you got Brett Hankinson who's out here, okay? Just roaming around. There's a glass door patio. There's glass windows right here in each room. Brett Hankinson's running around all right here firing shots. I'm of the belief, folks, that what happened is Kenneth Walker didn't shoot Manley. When Manley came in, Kenneth Walker fired a shot, probably landed somewhere right up in here. Manley ducks down on the ground. Upon him being ducked down on the ground, he fires off shots. Cosgrove comes in and provides cover for him, and he's firing all types of shots. Hankinson don't know what the hell's going on and won't in on the action because he don't even know what the game plan is because he came in last minute on this stuff, so they say. He don't know what's going on. Manley firing shots all right here, and he hits Manley. He hits Manley. Hankinson then runs all around here, and he's just firing because he just wants action. He hits Manley. Who pulls Manley out once he gets shot? Or does he make it out the apartment by himself? That's only 3 cops right there involved, folks. So you mean to tell me one cop gets shot, another cop is out here, and then another cop is shooting and killing Breonna while all the other cops didn't fire their rounds and they're just sitting there chilling, doing whatever they're doing? What was they? On Facebook, making statuses? What was they, eating donuts? You mean to tell me there was a total of 7 cops there, and while 3 cops are handling this situation and one gets shot as soon as he entered the apartment, the other one is firing, and there's one on the outside of the apartment, what was the other cops doing? You mean to tell me during this whole shootout, they was just chilling, doing nothing and not firing their weapon? It's corruption, folks, and they're covering up something. Another thing I want y'all to pay attention to. The EMS, the fire department, the police department, SWAT, the police's boss, our bosses, the coroner, detectives, people who live in the apartments, witnesses, and Kenneth Walker. Every last one of those people is supposed to have a statement. But the most important thing that nobody's talking about is what is the EMS's statement? And what does the EMS say about the gunshot wound? Does the EMS say that the gunshot wound had an exit in an entry? Does the fire department statement say that? What does the police department statement say? Does the police department bring in a private doctor, or do they go through the doctors that was on the scenes with the EMS, or do they go through the doctors that was at U of L hospital? SWAT, they was there. Did SWAT have body cameras? What was SWAT's statement? What all officers did SWAT catch on body cameras, and what was they talking about? Does SWAT's body cameras show any officers entering the apartment after the scene, after the shooting? Which bosses for all these polices came there? I'm sure all these police came from different departments. Did they bosses come? When did Brett Hankinson leave the scene? Did he leave the scene before his boss showed up, or did he leave the scene after his boss showed up? And if he left the scene after his boss showed up, did he have his boss's permission, or did he break the law by leaving a crime scene without his boss's permission? And when he left the crime scene, why did he leave? Coroner, what is their report? That's the people who report that Breonna Taylor is dead. They make it official. Detectives, how does their statements line up with the EMS, the fire department, the police department, SWAT, the bosses, the coroner? And more importantly, how does everybody's statement line up with Kenneth Walker's? Supposedly, all these people, their statements pretty much line up. Kenneth Walker is saying what the police said. I'm not really sure what the EMS is saying because we ain't heard from them yet. And it might be against OSHA violation for them to come out and say something, but they need to say something. We need to know, was there entry and exit with this bullet? What's SWAT saying? SWAT is the people who come there and they clean it up because there's a threat and they have to make sure it's safe. So when the police ran out, because they ran out, they didn't get Kenneth Walker. SWAT comes in and then they talk Kenneth Walker along with the police department, make him come out, but then SWAT is the first people to enter and make sure the crime scene is safe. What does their video show? How consistent is SWAT's video with the pictures that the police department is presenting to us online? Was the evidence moved and was casings picked up? Because there was only 15 shots and 34 casings found. Meaning somebody went in an apartment and moved casings. Who did that? Now, me personally, I know Brett Hankison's a dirty cop. So my question is, did Brett Hankison go back into the apartment after the crime scene was taken over by SWAT? And if he went back in that apartment, does SWAT have Brett Hankison on video? That is a big time question, folks, that nobody is asking. A big time question. What I'm trying to explain to you, folks, we have all of these different agencies and people involved. And the only story that we're getting is the police. Of course, the coroner reported her dead, and Kenneth Walker, and the witnesses. Another question is, does the EMS have any ties with any of the police officers that was involved with the search warrant? Have they worked with them before? Did they go to high school with them? These are questions that need to be asked. And right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my co-counsel, and I'm going to have her read off some questions, because I got some questions I want to ask. Some questions that I have written down. And I'm going to have her read off these questions. And some of them I've already said, but she's going to repeat them because I got them all in order. And I want y'all to think about these questions.
All right. So the first question is going to be, who challenged this case to the point that FBI had to come in and investigate?
Who challenged this case to the point to where FBI had to come in and investigate? Because what Kenneth Walker is saying is lining up with what the police is saying. And the witnesses are now telling the story that's lining up with the police too. So what made them red flag it to where the FBI and other agencies had to come in?
All right. Next question is, who are the officers who patrolled the crime scene after the shooting?
Who are the officers that patrolled the crime scene after the shooting? That is a big time question, folks. Because some of the officers that came to the crime scene had on body cameras. What all did they catch on a body camera? What kind of conversation was going on? And was any of the officers that responded to the crime scene after it became a crime scene, do they have any ties with any of the officers that was involved with the raid? Personal friendships? Do they do other things together? And was they involved in any other raids earlier that day or night? Big time question that nobody's asking.
So if they say Hankison is innocent until proven guilty, then why did they reward Breonna Taylor $12 million? Prematurely at that.
Everybody's asked that question, but I'm asking it again. If these cops and everybody is so innocent, why did they give these folks $12 million? I'm not even going to elaborate on that too much because we know what's up with that.
So if her neighbors were violated or they became priority over Breonna, then how much money is the city willing to give them?
If the neighbors was violated more than Breonna Taylor. Because they're saying everything that happened with Breonna Taylor was justified. And the neighbors is the one who got the charges against Brett Hankison. Then how much money should they get if Breonna Taylor got $12 million and she was in the wrong and everything that they did was justified? How much money should the neighbors get?
Okay. So who made the call to Brett Hankison?
Who made the call to Brett Hankison? Who brought Brett Hankison in on this? They stated that Brett Hankison was not originally a part of this raid. Whose idea was it to bring Brett and why? Because y'all all supposedly hate Brett and y'all all know he's a dirty cop. So why was he invited in?
So how credible is the witness who said he heard police announce themselves?
How credible is the witness that says he heard the police announce itself? Does he have any ties with the police department? Does he have any family members that's a police? How credible is this guy? Does he have any charges pending against him? These are questions that need to be asked. Is he known as a liar? Is there anybody that can vouch for him and what type of man he is and what his character consists of? Is this guy about money? Could he be bought out? What type of guy is he?
Okay, so I have some facts here, which you've already touched upon.
We're about to go on the facts.
So Sergeant Mattingly enters apartment.
Mattingly enters the apartment and he sees Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker fires a shot at Mattingly, hitting him. These are facts.
So how does Breonna get shot in the hallway, yet Kenneth does not get hit?
How does Breonna get shot 6 times, folks, and Kenneth Walker don't get hit at all? How? And he fired the first shot.
Okay. So was the 9mm registered to Kenneth, and where did Kenneth aim his gun?
Was the 9mm gun registered to Kenneth Walker? And when Kenneth Walker was shooting his gun, what exactly was he aiming at when he shot his gun?
Were the officers shooting in standing position, on their knees, or laying on the ground when they shot their guns?
When the officers shot their guns, was they in standing position? Was they on their knees? Or was they army crawling? What was their position when they were shooting their guns, and why? These are great questions, folks, that nobody's asking.
Which side was Breonna standing on? The right or left side of Kenneth?
What side of Kenneth Walker was Breonna standing on? The right or the left? This question is super, super crucial and critical. Which side, folks? Nobody's asking these questions.
So 22 shots were fired, and somehow Breonna got hit with 6 of those shots. But the actual alleged shooter Kenneth doesn't get hit.
Right. Kenneth Walker did not get hit. He didn't even get grazed, folks. How is that possible? It's not possible, folks. Think about it. It's not possible.
Do any of the police officers involved in the raid have registered 9mm guns in their name?
Does any of the police officers that was on the scene working the raid have registered 9mm guns in their names? The police and Daniel Cameron have came out and said that these police work with 40 cals. But does any of them have 9mm registered in their name? And how many of these police officers was carrying backup guns? Great question, folks, that nobody's asking.
So what was Brett Hankison's position during the raid originally? And what was every cop's original position?
What was every single cop's original position during the raid? What was Brett Hankinson's original position during the raid? Great question. Great question. I can't wait till I get the answer to that.
Who was the person or officers who red flagged this case, saying Brett Hankinson was shooting recklessly?
Who was the person or officers that red flagged this case and said that Brett Hankinson was shooting recklessly? Who did that? Who came out and said that? Who made that statement? Who red flagged that? Great question.
How did Officer Mattingly make it out of the apartment after being shot?
How did Officer Mattingly make it out of the apartment after being shot? This question is so powerful. I cannot wait until they give us the answer. I think I've heard the answer, but I'm not sure. I've heard different stories on different news, but I'm going to double check, folks. I cannot wait to get this answer.
How many bullets were found in Kenneth's gun?
How many bullets was found in Kenneth Walker's 9mm clip, and was there a bullet in the chamber? Was there a bullet in the chamber when they took his gun? Great question, folks. Great question.
So we're asking who manufactured the bullets in Kenneth's gun, and also who is the manufacturer of the police bullets?
Who is the manufacturer of Kenneth Walker's bullets, and who is the manufacturer of the police bullets? Are they made by the same company or two different companies? This question right here, super powerful. Super powerful.
Are officers allowed to use their police gun or backup bullets for personal use?
Are police officers allowed to use their officer bullets for their backup gun for personal use? Are the bullets that's issued to the officers allowed to be used in their personal guns? And another question is, does the police department issue them bullets, or are they responsible for buying their own bullets? These are great questions, folks. Great questions. Great questions, folks. Great. Nobody's asking these. You got these black leaders who's on TV every day. They hogging up all the news, but they're not asking none of this type important shit. But they're supposed to be so smart, but they're not asking none of this. And they're supposed to be on our side, but they're not asking these questions. Well, you know who's going to ask them? Kendrick Wilson, because I am on their ass.
Can any of the cops validate each other's story? If so, then who?
Can any of the cops vouch for each other's story? If so, which cop's story line up the best, and which cop stories don't line up? Woo! Woo! Yeah. I'm about to change my name to Kendrick Cochran. I swear, I'm cold.
What about Brett Hankinson being charged for wanton endangerment on a police officer?
What about, I love that I came up with that one. What about Brett Hankinson being charged with wanton endangerment on a police officer? He was shooting through a glass window when his counterparts, his brothers in blue, was in the exact same room he was firing bullets in. Wow.
How many officers were tested for gunpowder residue?
How many officers was tested for gunpowder residue? A lot of people don't know this. When you fire a gun, that residue jumps into your skin, and they can test you for that. How many officers was tested for that? Great question.
Who was Mattingly aiming for?
Who was Detective Mattingly aiming for? Who was he aiming for when he fired his gun? Woo! Mattingly, well, how are you going to answer that one, brother? How are you going to answer that one?
Will the EMS or SWAT team be witnesses? Did they have on body cameras? Do they have names of all officers on SWAT team body cameras?
Will the EMS and the SWAT be called in as witness? And will they be able to identify the names of all the officers that was captured on their body cameras, if they had on body cameras, which they should because they are SWAT? Will they be able to name all the officers that entered their apartment after them or before them, or when they got there, did they see anybody coming out or going in? And when they left, did they see anybody going in after they left? This question right here is powerful. And it's going to tell on them. I got a feeling this question right here is going to be the one that gets them. Kendrick Cochran.
Will cops who arrived on scene be called as witnesses? And will their body cameras be used as evidence as well?
Will the cops that arrived on the scene after it was considered a crime scene be called in as witnesses? And will they body cam footage be used in this case? Because conversation is powerful. And from the video that I seen online, when they was telling Kenneth Walker to get out, a lot of them cops was talking to each other. Woo-wee. What was y'all talking about? What was y'all talking about? And my final question is, what was each and every last one of those cops doing 48 hours before the raid and 48 hours after the raid? And when did Brett Hankerson leave the crime scene? And did he alert anybody that he was leaving and tell them what exactly he was going to do? I got him.